Hello friends and greetings for the day. Welcome back to another tutorial of our foundation level sample paper discussions. We are continuing ahead with the set C, looking on the chapter 1 remaining questions, and today we are talking about some more interesting questions which might give you a great insight that how exactly chapter 1 can be tackled the best as a part of the examination. So the next question we are looking at on today is question number 5, and that has some good understanding to talk about the tips and tricks. It says programmers often write and execute unit tests against code which they have written. During this self-testing activity, which of the following is a tester mindset that programmers should adopt to perform this unit testing effectively? Like one of them. So we're talking about good communication skills, code coverage, evaluating code defects. See, when you talk about the good communication skills, that should be possessed by anyone, and that's not specific to tester mindset which developers should adopt. Code coverage is core development responsibility to be measuring that, so that's not falling under the scope of the tester in order to be picked up by the developer. Evaluating code defects is also a responsibility of a developer to debug or get into the root cause and find out the problem. But when it comes to the option D, attention to details is something which is coming specific from the the testing team, which the developers can adopt and look forward to answer that, right? So because it would be more important for the developer to get into the details of it and then make sure that the unit testing covers all that aspect of a particular code which the requirement would fulfill. Right? So this is where we can say the right answer here is D. Attention to detail will be one of the relevant mindsets of the tester which can be adopted by the developers while doing unit testing. Stepping into the next one, which is question number 6, and we're talking about considering the following testing activities, and on the other hand, consider the following ways traceability can help testing. And we are looking forward to map them and see what's the best mapping possible. So considering the following test activities like selecting regression test, evaluating completeness of the test execution, identify which user stories have open defect reports, evaluating whether the number of tests for each requirement is consistent with the level of product risk, discussed as a part of the risk analysis. Now, which of the following best matches the testing activity with how the traceability can assist that activity? So let's get started with the first one, talking about selection of the regression testing. I hope we remember from the chapter 2 of our discussions that impact analysis is a study which can let you know out of your entire regression test suite which are the tests which can be picked up for execution based on a change, based on an update, etc. on an existing application. So impact analysis is the study which tells you to determine the number of right set of tests which should be executed, not the entire regression test suite at any time. So it can help you minimize your effort on regression testing during the changes taking place. And this is where the one goes to D, that is analyze the impact of changes, is the traceability option, which will return you with the support on minimizing your effort on regression. Coming to 2, evaluating completeness of the test execution, and evaluating of the completeness of test execution is making the testing auditable, which is also one of the point taken directly from the syllabus that the impact analysis or having the traceability will help you to make your testing auditable by having completeness of the test execution or several other matrices which would be showcasing how much we have actually done so far. So 2 goes to B, and let's go to 3, identify which user stories have open defect reports. Now that's from the point of improving the understandability of the test status report to include the status of test basis items, which in turn gives us the information on which user stories have the open defect report. So when we talk about linking our test executions back to the user stories or the requirements, or linking our defects back to the user stories or the requirement, that traceability will help us achieve this, right? So we can easily identify that which user stories have any particular open defect, but as far as you have the traceability for that. So now 3 goes to A, and I think we are pretty much left with one option, that is like evaluating whether the number of tests for each requirement is consistent with the level of product risk, which is going to C, provide information to assess process quality, right? It should be something which would tell us how exactly our process is adhering to mitigating the risk by having appropriate amount of test effort applied with respect or proportionally to the risk identified, right? So that completely makes sense. So putting it up all together, the right answer here is D. 1 goes to D, 2 goes to B, and 3 goes to A, whereas 4 goes to C. That's the correct mapping and the match of the following, and that gives us the right answer here. So that's all from this particular tutorial, team. Just wanted to keep it short because the other questions are pretty much lengthier as well, and we'll be getting back to you with the remaining 2 questions of this particular chapter. Should you have anything else, feel free to comment below. I'm always there to address your queries and answer them well. Till then, keep learning, keep exploring, keep understanding the context. Thanks for watching the video, team, and happy learning.